to. Honorable Minister for Tourism, Culture and Development of Northeastern Region, Shri G. Kishan Reddy ji, Shri Puneet Chhatwal, Chairman, Tourism and Hospitality Committee of CII, my colleague Aashish Gupta, who represents Faith, industry leaders, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Mano, for giving us this opportunity to Ministry of Tourism for share our initiatives, our approach to developing tourism sector. You will hear in detail from the Minister what are our plans. I'll just give you an overview of what we are doing in the Ministry of Tourism in putting together this roadmap. So these are the 4 core premises on which the Ministry of Tourism is working. First is that we understand if the tourism sector has to be built in a competitive fashion, it has to be by design. It cannot happen by default. And that's where our strategies and policies are directed, our efforts are directed. Tourism is a complex sector. It requires broad-based support. It depends on other sectors supporting and we impact them. The third is about tourism stakeholders. As we all understand, tourism has a multi-sectoral build, so we need support of many ministries, we need support of the state governments, and whatever we do, it has to be sustainable. So on these core premises, we believe if we have to exploit the potential of the tourism, we need coordinated action between our ministries and other stakeholders. When we are setting out our strategies and policies, obviously we have to have goals in the mind. So this is what our India tourism at 2047. We looked at a target of 1 trillion tourism economy, and with that there are other indicators that we are targeting. Most importantly, the employment, the foreign exchange earning. So our effort in the Ministry of Tourism is to position tourism as an economic sector, and that's what brings the policies to center around tourism. And so that's a core pursuit that the Ministry of Tourism is doing. We are targeting 1 trillion, but you will hear something. Already the industry is aspiring for 3 trillion tourism economy. So Mr. Aashish will share something around that. What is the role of Ministry of Tourism to really enable you? So these are 4 core pillars on which we are working. The first is obviously to create those framework conditions in the country which will lead to growth of tourism. It could be about security of destination, it could be cleanliness of the destination, it could be about the civic infrastructure of the destination. So that's one vertical where we work with the ministries to create those conditions for the growth of tourism. The second is to support tourism industries, and when we talk about tourism industries, obviously the hotels make a very significant segment, but it's an entire value chain that we are looking at. How do we support from the large corporates to also small corporate entities, the micro, small and medium enterprises, the startups, and then we're looking at support functions, whether it is marketing of tourism, whether it is a skill development of tourism, whether it is about marketing, research and data. And the third is developing tourism subsectors. As you understand, tourism has multiple sectors, whether it's a hotel, whether it's a adventure tourism, whether it's a cruise tourism. Each one of them requires different set of actors. How do you enable them? How do you really focus? So this is at the top level. If you look at how Ministry of Tourism is positioning itself to enable tourism sector, this is how our view is. This is another way to look at it. There is a demand side of tourism. How do you bring more and more people, both domestic traveler and the international traveler, and then there is a supply side. On the demand side, we've all seen Incredible India as a hugely successful brand, but we are further strengthening it, we're further reinventing it, and so that's where these initiatives of setting up a national tourism board, which will kind of spearhead all our marketing efforts. We're involving Indian missions in a big way. We're positioning market representation agencies in overseas market, and also reinventing our brand and strengthening. So we're working with 2 reputed agencies to rediscover our digital marketing. More importantly, the ministry is focusing on the supply side. So this entire national tourism policy is looking very comprehensively at all the supply side issues. How do we bring ministries, states and destinations together? The policy gives the broad intent, and then we get into the detailed strategies for each sector. And the most important is how each destination needs to be planned, developed and managed. So this is just an overview of the policy. It's almost every ministry has given us their support. Every state has supported it. It's formally to be notified. The policy looks at it in a very comprehensive manner. How do we need to support tourism sector for growth over the next 25 years? It has key building blocks, the 5 missions that we have provided in the middle, and they will be the core focus. And then all other support functions we are addressing in the policy. As I said, the policy at the broad level gives the intent, and then we translate that intent in terms of specific strategies. So the ministry has, during this period of 2 years COVID, articulated these strategies which are largely driven by industry consultation, by states. So across adventure, across ecotourism, rural tourism, sustainable tourism, we have put together a whole set of strategies to develop them further, and these are all available on our website. We welcome your further thoughts on it, what more can be done and contributed. Just to look at it, it's not only policy and strategy, but translating that on ground in terms of action. So let's say we picked up sustainable tourism as a core priority in our policy. Then we've created a national strategy around it. We've created a national board for sustainable tourism. Then we are working with the states to create that awareness. What is sustainability? How do you mainstream in the hospitality sector? Then we're looking at how do you certify, how do you measure sustainability? We've created a certification framework for hotels, tour operators and destinations. Now we've put a public scheme. So we're going to invest about 5,000 crore in 55 destinations. We've shortlisted these destinations across the country. So that's how the action is happening on ground, from policy, strategy to destination level. Another area is the industry development and investment promotion. That's what we have picked up in the policy as a major pillar. So we created this division within the ministry. We've created a strategy for private investment. We have an interministerial steering committee. We're now working with the states. So we've got their policies benchmarked. We've got their projects on board. We're working at, one of the key challenges is to recognize hospitality as industry and give them all benefits. And then we are working with the states. Where are the investable opportunities? How do we bring private sector? We've been very successful. We're culminating this into a global tourism summit, for which the minister will also extend you the invitation. So this is how each thrust of the policy gets translated through a strategy and action plan on the ground. So this is another main agenda that we have, a global tourism investor summit to engage with industry in depth, to look at how they can participate in our policies, programs, how can we facilitate and enable them. So this is happening in the month of May. It will have 3 days of activities. It will have different themes which will be discussed and spoken about. It will have states focusing on their plans, how each state is developing tourism, what kind of investment are they seeking in that. It will have the CEO's roundtable, again, because you bring the perspectives, you understand the industry, so you share your thoughts and experiences with us. Then we have the other networking opportunities. So this is a great occasion. I'll invite all of you to attend this. And the most importantly, where are the concrete opportunities which you can benefit from, which we can really share with you? So the states are working with us, and we have been able to capture a large number of projects. We are further refining. All these projects are available on our website, gtistourism.in, and you can visit that website. The state policies are also available. And this is an area where we'll continuously engage with the states and bring opportunities to you. So this is my request and invitation from Ministry of Tourism. You are cordially invited to the first Global Tourism Summit, and we will like to hear from you. We will like to engage with you and build tourism sector together. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. As the Additional Secretary rightly pointed out, that the Ministry's vision is $1 trillion GDP for tourism by 2047. However, as an industry, we are urging the Ministry to look at a larger vision, a vision of $3 trillion tourism dollars. Now, these numbers don't have any significance until they are backed by a thorough enabling action plan. So what are some of the key things that we as the industry or representative of the industry are proposing to the Ministry? One of the key indicators for the country as a whole are the foreign tourist arrivals. India has historically grown out past the world in terms of till 2020 almost 7.65%. We are saying let's maintain the growth rate, and from 2020 till 2047 let's target 100 million foreign tourists. What does that mean? 100 million foreign tourists would mean that even if you are looking at a global figure of 4.3 billion, your share of the country will grow up tremendously by 2047. A very interesting fact that has happened is the Prime Minister has, along with the Honorable Minister, has said that India should focus on high-value foreign tourists. So here is the fact that if you look at 100 million foreign tourists and we target an average spend of $4,500 per tourist, you're looking at a staggering tourism foreign exchange earnings from tourism itself by 2047 of 450 billion US dollars. This is as against what you see, $30 billion in year 2020. If the world grows to $7.2 trillion, India will become one of the key contributors in the world tourism economy in terms of foreign exchange earnings. It's not just the foreign arrivals. We also need to encourage the ministry to work with other ministries to broad-based tourism. What are the key things? Short-haul tourism. If you keep Bangladesh out for the moment, the share of short-haul in India is less than 26%. We need to increase it to a share of 40-55%, which is a global trend. Women travelers in India, it is 41%. We need to take it up to at least a minimum of 55%. And I think I'm very happy to see yesterday a news article that under the minister, the share has already gone up of women travel to 49%. A safer destination for women means a safer country for all kinds of foreign tourists. Off-season, we need to make India a 365-day destination. Each state of the country is blessed with immense natural resources. So why should it happen that the off-season contributes only 35% of the country's tourism economy? We should look at, in fact, at least having even October to March and April to October, having 50% share, thereby ensuring all states work with the central government and having an equal share across the country. This is the age of Gen Z and millennials, and the less than 35 years are just about 35% of the share of our tourism. We need to look at increasing the share as a country, make it a globally young, happening destination through all kinds of activities and products, and look at the under 35 to up to 50% of our inbound destination, which will make it a happening country globally. And very key thing is, why should foreign tourists enter India only in 5 states? Why should there be a concentration? Why should we not look at regional hubs? We are countries surrounded by many countries. So we should look at decreasing that share from 85% to 50% and ensuring that we are having foreign tourist arrivals from all over the country. We are already the second largest domestic tourism market in the world, 2.3 billion domestic tourism visits. We need to target 20 billion domestic tourism visits. And most importantly, if the share of the top 5 states was 65%, as the industry and along with the minister, we need to ensure it comes down and other states also contribute to a very vibrant domestic economy of 20 billion domestic tourism visits, which can happen by enabling destination, GSC and other product development. Now these are again overall targets, but how do we ensure that all our segments, as the Joint Secretary, as the Additional Secretary pointed out, there are different segments. So we are looking at MICE plus E, which is events. We are looking at heritage. We are looking at adventure, eco. We are looking at special interest tourism, which is films, etc. And finally, most importantly, we are looking at different kinds of business tourism, each of them to contribute to multi-billion-dollar tourism economy focused around leisure and multi-branded segments. GDP is an outcome, and if we look at all of this happening, we automatically touch on a multiplier basis a GDP number of $3 trillion, immensely staggering tourism economy. And if you are looking at India growing at 8% and a number of $22.6 trillion by 2047, tourism in India unprecedentedly can target up to a share of 13 to 14%, which means the economy doesn't drive tourism. It will be tourism which will drive economy going forward till 2047. And that, as an outcome, Honorable Minister, will lead to jobs of up to 20 plus crores. We are currently, pre-COVID, we're around 5 to 7 crores. We can look at creating additional 13 to 15 crores of jobs. Demand cannot be met till supply happens. And hospitality supply, we understand, before COVID, it was the branded supply was less than 0.15. Even conventionally, ladies and gentlemen, if we target from 0.15 million to reaching a branded supply of 5 million, that implies, Minister, 25 lakh crores of investment or $300 billion. Even if you take a debt equity ratio of 2:1, we're looking at $100 billion of private capital coming in over the next 25 years, which is an immense multiplier going forward for the economy. Which means for all the hoteliers, investors, it means what? It means investment opportunities in gateway cities and hinterlands. It means investment across multiple segments. It means branding the unorganized sector. It means leveraging the Indian who are going outbound and are brand familiar. It means creating investment opportunities in skilling, in management companies and technical companies, listing in the Indian market. We already have investment assets. Why should not more and more firms look at investing and listing in the Indian market? And finally, a globally ready manpower, driven by the 4 Ds, a democracy, destinations which you are developing on convergence mode, dialogue. This never before there's so much of a dialogue happened between central and state government, and finally our demagogue, which is our young population and our efforts to mobile people. Lastly, all of this cannot happen if we do not focus on the key strategies. We need, sir, export status. Why should tourism foreign exchange earnings not be treated at par with merchandise exports? Number one, why should hospitality infrastructure, if you require $300 billion investment, not get the benefit of low-cost, long-term funds? Infrastructure, why should not tourism become a national focus of the Prime Minister and the Chief Minister together through a GST-like council called a National Tourism Council? Why should we not have a globally competitive GST rate of less than 10% for hospitality with full setups available? Why should we not, Minister, have a single window ease of doing business, which we have discussed this morning, across all states? All of you would be battling the challenge of skills. We need to invest aggressively in skills creation, the one that we spoke about in the morning, create jobs across the country. Why should we not look as a country as for a national skills repository? Why should we not look at integrated destination development, which is having last mile connectivity, and the one which Ministry is already doing on a convergence mode? Why should we not have, last and foremost, a uniform national code of industry status, which all states agree to uniformly and implement and not just announce? Ladies and gentlemen, it's a long journey, but as the AS rightly said, it's partnership with all of the investors. Look forward to all the investors coming forward to sharing their recommendations, sharing their inputs, so that the ministry can take them forward. Thank you very much on behalf of Faith, the Board of Directors of Faith, Puneet, who is on the Board of Directors, Nakul. Thank you, Minister. Thank you, Manav. I wish you all the very best. Thank you very much.
Honorable Tourism Minister, Mr. Verma, and delegates, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's a very rare occasion that we have Tourism Ministry as a patron sponsor of a conference. I think the intent that is demonstrated. Thank you for recognizing that. That's one. I would like to quote and unquote what Mr. Verma said. It has to be a development by design and not default. I can confirm myself on behalf of my colleagues, Mr. Kachru, Sanjay Sethi, those who are not here, Ajay Bakaya, I can go on and on with the list. Faith, Mr. Nakul Anand, and Arjun I see here, everybody has been extremely engaged with the government in the last 2 years. We have not got That list Aashish gave, I will not like to repeat. Why not this, why not that, why not that? Let's say we got a mention from the finance minister in her budget speech. It happened. We had a post-budget webinar with the Prime Minister. It happened. We had the full day of discussions on mission and challenge mode. It happened. Together with Mr. Verma and Secretary Tourism, we've gone to the highest level, making a case for India at 2047, and we are working closely with the Tourism Ministry. And so that we can hear our Honorable Minister speak, I would just say very briefly that it is a beginning, it is a humble beginning, and I can confirm that the intent, as I mentioned before, is very positive. If we get some of these positioning benefits for the sector will thrive, the nation will thrive, the investments will thrive. Let's not wait for one or the other to make a start. Let's jointly make the Global Tourism Investment Summit next month a big success. We will do what we can from our side. At least I can speak not only on behalf of the sector, but on behalf of our company. We have always pioneered destinations. We have invested heavily in India. We'll continue to do so. The more people will join us, the more we'll make tourism as a better sector, a better business, great employment generator, greatest multiplicator of job, and would like to thank that the minister has taken time out to come all the way to Bangalore. This is not you go to Taj Palace and make a speech and go back to office. So thank you, sir, very much, and we all look forward to hearing you. Thank you.
Namaskar. Brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, Shri Rakesh Verma ji, Additional Secretary, Ministry of Tourism, respected Puneet Chhatwal, CEO, IHCL, Shri Aashish Gupta ji, CEO, Faith, on behalf of the Ministry of Tourism, Government of India, I welcome all the members of the Hotel Investment Conference, South Asia. I would like to welcome the entire ecosystem and value chain of the hospitality industry, including hotel owners, operators, investors, financiers, developers, architects, consultants, and all the concerned professionals. Friends, you have traveled from some of the friends from across the globe, be it from the Middle East, Europe, or the United States. It is a pleasure to be among us, the leaders in the hospitality value chain. I hope you enjoy your stay in the beautiful city of Bangalore, which has an amazing mix of the 5 T's for the city: technology, tradition, talent, trade, and of course, tourism. Friends, India indeed the land of amazing opportunities. Our country provides limitless opportunities, boundless fashion, endless customers, risk-taking entrepreneurs, skilled workforce, and talented youth. To add this, the policies of the government of India and my state governments brings all these factors together, therefore creating an enabling environment. Friends, you would be aware that my government, under leadership of the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, has identified 12 champion sectors in service for focused attention. On the 12 identified sectors, 3 champion sectors directly facilitate in favorable investment climate for the hotel industry in India. There are tourism and hospitality services, enhanced business travel due to information technology and information technology enabled services, medical value travel. Friends, it is not just us, but various international organizations have also given an extremely positive outlook on India. In January 2023, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, projected that India will remain a bright spot in global growth. India is expected to contribute 15% of the global growth rate in 2023 this year. This is because of the investor-friendly environment being provided by the government of India. Friends, India under Prime Minister Narendra Modi, able and decisive leadership offers enabling environment, predictable policies, transparent rules-based economy, and an open mind to engage with like-minded countries. India is creating new infrastructure at an unimaginable pace. Today, India is building what we call as a hira. In Hindi, my local language, my national language, hira means diamond. As it's known in Hindi language, hira, H, world class highways, I, high quality interface, or extensive roadwork of railways, A, cost effective airways. In this regard, the Pradhan Mantri Garib Shakti Master Plan means Prime Minister Unified Master Plan is providing integrated planning and coordinated implementation of infrastructure connectivity projects in the 7 engines of railways, roads, ports, airports, mass transport, waterways, and a logistic infrastructure. Friends, Indian government is making all efforts to encourage and attract foreign investors and businesses to be part of India infrastructure and transformation. As a result, the FDI inflows have doubled from US dollars 45.1 billion in 2014. This financial year, highest ever US dollars 84.84 billion in 21-22. Friends, the initiative undertaken by the Government of India reflects in various indices. India jumped 79th position from 2014, now 63rd in 2019 in the World Bank's Easy of Doing Business ranking. In the last 8 years, India has jumped in 2015, 81 rank, now the 40th rank in Global Invest Index. Friends, this is a new India that offers quality, reliability, scale, innovation, cost-effective entrepreneurship, a new India that leverages new technologies and ideas such as artificial intelligence and augmented reality. This new India is opening with a new set of investment-friendly policies and frameworks that include a simplified goods and service tax regime, GST, reduced corporate tax framework with easy compliance, repealing close to 2000 laws, Digital India stock up at a population scale, Aadhaar digital identity, and UPI-based payment infrastructure. Initiatives such as the National Infrastructure Pipeline will attract investment into infrastructure. This would be crucial for attracting the target becoming the 5 trillion economy in financial year 2025. Friends, due to all these policy initiatives, India has become a favorable investment attraction. However, we are also working towards becoming one of the premier tourist attractions in the world. Based on data, in 2021, foreign exchange earnings from tourism was rupees 65,070 crores, US dollars 8 billion. It has increased rupees 1.35 lakh crores, US dollars 16 billion in the year of 2022. We are confident that we will surpass all the past records in this year 2023. Foreign tourist arrivals in the period of January-February 2023 were 17.34 lakh, means 1.7 million. As compared to the 4.42 lakh, less than 0.5 million in last year, January-February. Friends, This is an impressive growth of almost 300%. In 2022, tourist arrivals record one of the Jammu Kashmir state was broken with 1.84 crore, 18.4 million domestic tourist arrivals. This is the all-time records last so many years. March 2022 was Srinagar International Airport business busiest month, averaging 90 flights per day. This is the last year. Now, in month 2023, India will be hosting G20 Tourism Working Group meetings also in Srinagar, Jammu Kashmir state. The government of under Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji leadership understands that peace and stability are crucial ingredients for development and investments. This has now been achieved across the India. The tourist arrivals in the northeast further support these views with domestic and foreign tourists visiting the northeast states during the year of 2022 almost records. Friends, with the development of our tourist amenities and infrastructure destinations, our tourism sector is flourishing. As an example, with the reconstruction of the Kashi Vishwanath Temple corridor, is a spiritual center in Uttar Pradesh. 7 crore tourists have visited in the city this year. Friends, our budget in 2023-2024 prioritizes development of tourist destination in holistic manner. It aims to develop at least 50 tourism destinations which can be promoted globally. The Ministry of Tourism is also working in mission mode with the 20 plus central ministries in a whole of government approach for tourism development. For example, friends, the work of the Ministry of Civil Aviation, we now have total airports 147. After independence up to 2014, before Modi government, we have only 74 airports. After Modi, last 7 years, we added 74 airports new. That means 8 years, lot of improvement in airports. Our target is 2025. We are going to dedicate minimum 220 airports in India. Friends, Ministry of Port, Shipping, Waterways, Cruise Tourism as a focused area, guaranteed berths to cruise ships, concessional uniform single rate for all major ports, cruise terminals upgraded in Mumbai, Goa, Mangalore, Kochi, Chennai, Vizag and Calcutta. Friends, Ministry of Railways, new railway stations in the northeast states and more than 3,000 rail coaches are available to private sector for launching their own trains as a Bharat Gaurav trains, already launched various circuits as a Ramayana circuit train, Buddhist circuit train, and this year means day after tomorrow, on the 14th April, in the occasion of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar's birthday, we are going to flag up the Ambedkar train circuit. Ministry of Petroleum Natural Gas, there is approximately 65,000 petrol retail outlets across the India. We are working with the ministry to build amenities such as toilets, refreshment centers in highways and other locations in these outlets. Friends, as India celebrates 75 years of independence, it is the most opportune moment to unveil a shared vision for the future of India's tourism. Our tourism and hospitality sector will be guiding the course for the next 25 years to make India as a most sought after travel destination in the world when we celebrate India 100-year celebrations in 2047. Today, Ministry of Tourism is delivering tourism in mission mode with the active participation of the states, public-private partnerships, and convergence of government programs. My ministry has drafted a comprehensive national tourism policy with the target to achieve $1 trillion tourism GDP by 2047. Apart from this, to further the cause of improving ease of doing business and attracting investments in Indian tourism and hospitality sector, my Ministry of Tourism is working on many initiatives to strengthen ministry's engagement with industry to facilitate and support industry both in the investment phase and also operational phase. Create a national framework for a grant of industry status to the tourism and hospitality sector to reduce the cost of operations and make the industry more competitive. Advocate for expanding the infrastructure status to the hospitality sector to more cities to facilitate better terms for capital investment in hospitality projects. Develop a scheme for a special tourism zones. Develop destination-centric tourism development model with a destination-specific tourism master plans. Strengthen national single window system for tourism and hospitality sector by strongly integrating with the state governments. Develop national framework for the various licenses and permits required for hospitality units in different states by rationalized and standardized of the processes. Friends, if I talk about the public-private partnership in the tourism sector in India, the Ministry of Tourism has taken the initiative to set up industry development and investment promotion division. It will help in the development of hospitality in tourism industries across the value chain, In order to promote private sector investments and strengthen public-private partnership, the Ministry of Tourism is organizing the first Global Tourism Investment Summit in New Delhi in 2023. The summit will provide the platform to central and state governments to showcase investable projects in the tourism and hospitality sector to the global and domestic investors community. Friends, India's G20 presidency has created unprecedented interest among the global community, including business. The Global Tourism Investor Summit will leverage the same to attract global tourism and hospitality business with focus the G20 countries. In this regard, I invite all of you to the first Global Tourism Investor Summit going to held in New Delhi, national capital, this year. I once again, in the spirit of Atithi Devo Bhava, where the guest is treated as a divine in my country, welcome you all to Bangalore. I also encourage and call upon all present here to explore investment opportunities in India, booming tourism and hospitality sector. I would want you to be a part of future India's journey in becoming the tourism capital of the world. I thank you one and all for providing me this opportunity to be here among us, you all, and share my government views and thoughts. And once again, I thank you one and all for this opportunity, and I welcome on behalf of Government of India for this event. Government of India, all the time, we are committed to encourage private investments in tourism, in the hospitality sector. Thank you once again. Jai Hind.